Hello all. So today, as you saw from the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about how I met the Hell We Made cast because I love them so much, and um, I get a lot of questions like, where did they come from? Like, you know, like, did you just meet them? What's their origins? People know about Ray, obviously, because I've talked about them on past streams before, but they don't know about Dino and Eris, so I'm gonna talk about all three, because why not? So I kind of chose these at random, meaning I spun a wheel and I went gambling, and so first I'm going to be talking about Tananok and how I met his voice actor. Okay, so I met Tananok in a Devil May Cry server. It was like completely at random, as the other two, of course. It's all completely at random, but you know what I mean. So basically, I was, you know, just minding my own business. I was talking in VC with a few other people that I knew, and then Dino joined, and I can't say that I wasn't intimidated by him. I 100% was, because obviously, new person, new face, and I'm introverted, so naturally my first instinct was to cave in and just drown. So, and I almost did that, but then, I saw just how, like, funny he was, and, like, how over the top he was. I just loved it. I just, adored how himself he was, and energetic and all that, and I really appreciate that about people, because I'm hecka insecure, so if I see someone being their self, it inspires me to be myself, so I, gosh, how many times have I said, frick? Sorry, it's like 2 in the morning or something like that. What time is it right now? At the time I'm recording this, it's 2:50 in the morning, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm gonna say a lot, because I'm gonna run out of words. But, so I try to go along with him, I try to make convo whenever he comes in VC, and surprisingly, after that VC when we first met, me and him clicked fast, and I mean fast. Like, and before I knew it, he started talking to me about, all of his hyperfixations, like JJK, like all the memes he likes, and then, he like dumped me some videos he didn't need anymore, and oh my gosh, they just had me dying. But like, uh, when I really got to know him, he started telling me about dinosaurs, and like what kind of dinosaurs he liked, and like showed me his fossils, and like how many he had, and I was just so fascinated. Like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Not what the heck like in a bad way, what the heck like, oh my gosh, that's so freaking cool, but like, um, you know, here we go again with the bull crap. But I just speak. Um, pretty soon you said I was just starting to write the Hell We Made, and it was just like a dumb idea in my head. Like, I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna even carry out with this, but like, I'm gonna sure frickin' try. I'm gonna surefire try to carry out with this. But like, he said at one time, if I could just like voice act in any project, it could be anything, that would be awesome. And I said, hey buddy, and I was like, how would you like to voice act in my comic series? And I was just like, no, 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 nobody would want to voice act in that. No, no, no. And to my surprise, he said yes. He said he'd love to. And I gave him the role of Tananok, which is the most savage character in my series, which I feel like fit him a lot. And I feel like he's very happy with that role, because he gets to be a menace, as usual. But yeah, and now he's just, my stream buddy, and how that happened is, you know, we were just having one of our talks, and I was like, hey, I'm, about to stream pretty soon, you wanna come on so, like, the people can meet you? And, he said, oh, heck yeah, so, I said, yeah, I'm sure, the people would love to meet you, know the face behind the name, and, he said, yeah, we're doing this from now on, by the way. No, I'm coming on every stream that I can. I'm like, frick it, we'll do it live, and that's how that happened. So, yeah, that is the story of how I met Tananok. Now, the second person I will be talking about is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Ray Rahu. So, oh gosh, Ray. Oh, when did I meet you? I met him about 8 or 9 months ago. I'm gonna shoot for 8. I met this man 8 months ago, but it felt like we were friends forever. Like, forever. I clicked on one of his streams one day because he's an art streamer. He does some amazing art, by the way. I'll tag his YouTube in the description. Please go subscribe to him. Like, oh my gosh, he does amazing art. But I just clicked on one of his streams one day, and I started watching him. I was like, my first thought, by the way, my first thought upon meeting Mr. Rahu was, this guy sounds cute. That was my first thought upon meeting him. It was really crazy. It was, this guy's voice is calming and he sounds cute. And again, I was surprised with how fast I just clicked. It just happened. Like, it was like nothing. Like, normally when I see an art YouTuber, right, besides ZM, right, I'll normally click on a stream and then like get bored within 5 minutes and then leave and be like, yeah, that was fun. But with Ray, it was just instantaneous. Like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because we both liked analog horror. Maybe it's because we both like women. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. Maybe it was just destiny. Maybe just God aligned me with him and said, hey, this is your new thing now. This is it. And I just started tuning in every stream since then, and I never stopped. And then, like, second stream I got under him, I was like typing to him in uppercase letters. I was like so hype to tell this man about my day, and like I got so hyped waiting for every stream. I joined this man's Discord. I followed this man on Twitch. It was just crazy. And then, like, pretty soon I started making memes of him, and the first meme I made was like him spinning in a microwave and then exploding at the end, because explosions are funny, right? SpongeBob humor. And and then there were just so many more to come there. And I told him first. He was the first one I told, that obviously because I met him first among the cast, but I told him first that I always had this dream of making a comic or making a animatic or a series like that with my OCs. And, I was basing it kind of, sort of, itty bitty bit around Epic the Musical, which is why, when I post my OCs, most of them with like the speed paints and introducing the characters, they have Epic the Musical songs, because that's what they're mostly centered around, but it's not noticeable. Haha, copyright dodging. But I always told him first, and I was like, well, maybe it's a dumb idea in my head, maybe I don't need to do it, it's just me, it's just Amir, just daydreaming, right? And then one day, the stupidity in my head grows so much that I decide to do it. And Tananok was the first one I recruited. Mizo was the second. And I very scared, very nervous to ask him, because, obviously I hate to bother people. But, I was like, hey, would you like to voice act in my comic series? And he said, oh, yeah, sure. I was like, wait, really? I was like, thank you, man. And I gave him Mizo, and I gave him his character and like what he's like, and he offered to take that on, and yeah, that's basically how I met Ray and what our relationship is like and all that jazz. Heck yeah. Finally, the last of the bunch, Adarna Epithica. How the heck did I meet her? By the way, she's also my co-writer. She helped me write The Hell We Made. She's my voice actor and co-writer. So, how I met her is I met her in the same Devil May Cry server that I met Dino in. And, the first time I met Adarna, I was drawing V. I was making a background from, which is now the background for my computer. It was originally just a picture, because, gosh, I still do simp for V, but, like, I was drawing him because I had the dumb idea that I could draw, like, a realistic V. And it did turn out good, by the way, but it took, like, over 70 hours of my life. So, I met her there, and she, like, hopped on a call while I was, like, I think, almost done with the sketch phase. And she was like, hey, what are we drawing? I was like, I'm drawing V. And she was like, oh, I love V. And I was like, yes. And then we just clicked from there. And, she was the first one I sent my progress reports to, for the V drawing. And I was like, Eris, I'm going to send this to you. Look at it. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah, sure. So I send her those, and like she gets them little by little, and then like we're at the end, and like I'm like, oh gosh, I need a background. Like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Like, and then I think poetry. He likes poetry. He poetry boy. So I look up William Blake's poetry, which is the book he has. I need to buy that book, by the way. We settle on a background. It's like yeah, and I put it there, and it turns out amazing, and then. Me and Eris, we just became besties, like, ever since then. Just clicked. Just happened out of nowhere because of V. V unites all. You should know that. But, I was, scared to ask her because we were in VC, and, first I went to my friend Megan, who does not voice in The Hell We Made, never mistake. But then, I thought, Eris is an amazing voice actor and an amazing singer. She does sing, by the way. And I went to her nervously as always and, like, said, hey, would you mind voicing, like, a character in my comic? And she's like, yeah, sure. I show her Darna and all that, and like, yay. And then, I like that Tananok makes jokes that, like, yay, he gets to flirt with a 30-year-old woman. Oh, they're a trip, all of them. But, yeah, that's pretty much how we met from there, and me and Eris are besties. All of them are besties, and, I'd just like to say that all of my cast, they're all a miracle. It's all a miracle that I met them. It's all a miracle that they were brought into my life, because they are genuinely, like, the funniest, kindest, like, most amazing people I have ever met. Without them, we would have never had The Hell We Made. I would have never, like, had my dream come to life of making a series. I would just still be sitting down, drawing my OCs, fantasizing over, what it would be like if these characters had their own series, and, it's just so, I'm just so blessed that I met them all, and that God put them in my life the time he did, because I needed people like them, man, and, when I needed them, they were there for me, and that means so much more than anything could ever account for. And they are just the greatest people in my eyes. Like, they could do no wrong for me. But, yeah, so that's how I met our beautiful cast. Episode 2 is in the works. It should be out very, very, very soon. If I had to say how done with it I am, I'd say I am about 15% of the way done. Yes, I know that is a tiny number, but life has been punching me in the face lately, guys. I can't even stream. I'm serious. But we have panels in the works. We have progress in the works. I just want you to know that I am not just not working on the hell we made. I am working tirelessly to get this out to you guys, and I hope to get it out to you very soon. So with that being said, I will see you guys next time in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed me talking about how I met my crazy crew, and I will see you guys next time in the next video. Bye.